Hi, my name is Nathan Gullah, and I am enrolled in the kine323 Sport and Gender class here at Cal Poly. And this is my final. How often do you watch female athletes play sports?
I would say for every 10 sporting events I watch, probably one or two female events. But since I recently got a job for Cal Poly Athletics, I actually recently watched a women's softball game, so I assume I'll be working at more female sports soon. So that number is likely to change in the near future.
In response to Henry's first answer, I believe that his answer to my question does support hegemonic femininity, not necessarily because he supports hegemonic femininity or believes that male athletes are greater than female athletes in any aspect. But just because, I feel like male spectators are more likely to watch male sports um, and treat women athletes with a little less respect than they should because they've kind of been groomed and brought up in this generation of people and spectators that were taught male sports are more entertaining or more exciting than female sports. Um, and that just goes a long way back when, people believe that males are more dominant than females. But today's day and age, females are obviously just as powerful, if not more powerful, than men. And Henry's answer, maybe a little biased just because he works for Cal Poly Athletics and is supposed to watch both male and athletes, both male and female athletes play sports. Um, but I think that his answer was a good representation of what spectators view more in today's age. Okay. Well, when viewing female athletes in ads, do you think they look better in uniform and or in action, like an action shot, or when they are taken out of the game and placed into a more feminine setting, kind of like a model?
I would definitely take the action shot and uniform over the modeling because that's what I look for when I'm trying to see that athlete. I want to see them doing what they do best and leave the modeling to the models, and just I prefer seeing them play their sport.
I showed Henry two pictures, one of Serena Williams uh, playing tennis in an action shot, and then another one of her on the cover of ESPN, completely naked in makeup. I believe that Henry's answer does not support sexual objectification, even though the ESPN cover is sexually objectifying Serena Williams as sort of this model figure that by showing all her skin and her completely naked and her with makeup on and whatnot, showing her kind of as a model of interest of someone that men are supposed to look at and be like, wow, like I want to possess her. She's shown as something possessive rather than something that is dominant, that she usually is in the sport of tennis. Um, and Henry's answer went against that, went against sexual objectification, the objective that ESPN was supposed to have from its viewers. But Henry decided to go along the lines of saying that the picture of her in an action shot was more desirable. He liked that better than her modeling completely naked on the cover of ESPN because he liked to see her doing what she does best, doing what she's known for, and uh, and I believe that does pay a lot of respect towards women athletes and Serena Williams herself. Henry's second answer kind of goes against the norm, I guess you would say. When we consider one of the articles or PowerPoints we had to read for last week or the week before section, uh, it's called by Daniels and Wartana, 2011. And it was the study that showed that men were more likely to acknowledge and like sexually objectified athletes over sexually objectified models. Um, and I think that kind of, and Henry's answer goes against that, because he said obviously he would like to see Serena Williams in an action shot rather than her completely naked on the cover of ESPN. And so I think that's really hopeful for men and female athletes, just because it shows that sexually objectification is not being supported completely by today's spectators of athletes and other sports. What do you think about an openly gay athlete in sports? And if you were to play an openly gay athlete, would you play against them any differently than you were against a straight player?
An openly gay athlete in sports is totally normal. It's been happening for decades. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I wouldn't play any differently. It's a sport. It's a game. I'll do whatever I can to win, and I don't really care either way. In regards to the last question that I asked Henry, to wrap things up about homophobia and homophobic tendencies, it brings me back to when we learned about Coach Portland and the whole controversy with the Penn State women's basketball team, and how Coach Portland affected so many girls' lives because of her homophobic tendencies, and that she should have just looked past it. It was not a really big deal, as supported by Henry's answer, that it doesn't really matter. You're still a person. You're still going to play just as hard on an openly gay, say, basketball player as a straight basketball player. Yeah, so I don't think that the controversy with Coach Portland was very. The times have changed. Back then, though, looking back on a sociological viewpoint, it made sense because not a lot of people were openly gay, and being openly gay wasn't accepted, especially in the sports community, primarily because the media just decided never to show it. It just frowned upon it. So then it made other people uncomfortable and less accepting of openly gay athletes. And that's where it kind of changes nowadays, that students and spectators and other athletes are more accepting of openly gay athletes. And it just shows that things are changing, things are progressing, but things still are bad, and things always have room for improvement. So I want to leave you with these questions to think about. How often do you see hegemonic femininity on our Cal Poly campus? If you were to be a sports athlete, how would you feel if you were in an ad that sexually objectified you and your body? What were your feelings towards Coach Portland and the Penn State women's basketball team, and how she treated those women? Thank you.